Handicapping for every Saturday of the 2020 Oaklawn Thoroughbred Meet. I am your host, J. Mark Robinette, Esquire. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Derby Day. And joining me for Derby Day is my co-host, the dynamo of the Derby, generating 17.3 gigawatts of sheer handicapping power, the inimitable Coach William Roundtree. Are you on the line, Coach?
Yes, indeed, Mark, on a great-looking Saturday for, obviously, an odd Derby day. The Arkansas Derby with 14 race card Sans fans. But you know what? Been a great meet. Been an opportunity to share with our listeners some handicapping insights, and it's really been fun doing the show with you. And we got a great day today.
Yes, indeed we do, sir. And this is it. This is the last Wire to Wire podcast of this meet. It has been wonderful. We have a loaded card today. Nary a $6,250 claimer to be found, Coach. And we have a beautiful day, sunny, fast track, and let's fast track this card. Let's begin with race number 1, a 6-furlong starter allowance sprint, $32,000 purse for fillies and mare 4 years old and upward. Coach, you have the first word.
Well, the word today will be a hyphenated word, full field, because every race you're going to see that. This is a 12-horse field, some good sprint horses, kind of an interesting mixture of those that favor to come from off the pace and those with speed. As I was looking through race number 1, a horse that would look on paper to be a little cheap, to me, will be the leader, and he'll set the fractions. And that's the 4 for Kim Poole, Hot Mess. Kim Poole, a journeyman trainer that's had a decent meet. He's got 6 wins, 9 seconds, 3/3 out of 64 outs. I think this horse gets the lead. I do not think he holds the lead. My win bet in race number 1, we're going to try to get off to a good start. He's 10-1 morning line. He's coming right back as he ran on April the 25th. I'm going to go with Cipriano Contreras and the 9-horse AP Princess. I'll take the 9 on top of the 1-2-4-10, the 1-2-4-10 on top of the 9.
AP Princess, consistently running in the $50,000 plus claiming or allowance category, winning quite well at the distance, twice out of 9 starts at the distance, and two place finishes. Can't talk. It's too early. You once again, you've gotten your way, and we are in the wee hours of the morning. Coach, I am going to play. I like Mac Robertson's horse here, the number 2, Full of Grace, running 10 times at the distance, 3 wins, 1 place, 1 show, showing quite a bit of coming into form in his past 3 races. Also like the number 3, Miss Imperial. This horse won its last out by 1 3/4 lengths, won the prior out by a neck, won the prior out by 4.5 lengths. Very successful at the distance in the money 7 out of 10 times. I mean, this is just a full field. So I like 2 and 3. I think there's going to be some value in Tom Amos and his horse, Lady C, number 6. So 2, 3, and 6. Probably also like the 8. Can't ignore the 5 either. So because this is such a packed field, I think I'm going to go with my favorite bet, which is the 10-cent Superfecta. I'm going to keep number 2, 3. I'm going to add in the 5. Going to add in the 6 for some value. And then I'm also going to throw in the 8, Lexington Grace, the Irish horse, and hope a little bit of the luck of the Irish gets me, and that is going to be my Superfecta box. Well, let's go on to race 2, Another 6 furlong sprint. We have for maidens, fillies 3 years old, 122 pounds of weight. I'll take the first word here. We have a field of almost entirely first-time starters. We only have number 1, She's the Boss, running a race. And then, if we have our also eligibles come in, we will have 2 much more experienced horses. You can never count on those. So I am going to just give you a pick from the ones we know for sure will run. Like number 3, Brittle and You. I like the angle here that we have Brad Cox, who is very good at maiden special weights, sprints, and on the dirt. I want to add number 3, Brittle and You. I like number 10, Bonus Baby. So I'm going to go 3, Brittle and You, 10, Bonus Baby. And I believe what I'm going to do with that is I will just do a exacta, and then I may wish to go ahead and wheel with that. If I have my 3 and 10 on top and on bottom, and maybe go ahead and add in the number 8, Take Charge, Glenda, and then the number 2, the number 1, She's the Boss, on bottom as a second position horse. Well, Coach, what say you?
Well, this is, I mean, other than the one, like you said, and I don't think they're also eligible to get in. So 12 horses, you got 1 horse that's been out, you got 11 that you're just basically taking a shot based on works, angles, gut feeling, whatever. I'm going to go with the 8, Take Charge, Glenda, and I'm going to take the 6, Scolding, first-time starter for Asmussen. A real simple bet. I'm going to play the 8 to win in place, box the 6-8 in the exacta. Play me a little dollar try, 6-8, 6-8 all. In my horizontal wagers out of this race, I'm going to use the 6. I'm going to use the 8. I'm going to use the 10. And you always, I think, have to look for a long ball. Mine will be the 2. So I'll use 2, 6, 8, 10, and my pick 4 going horizontal. But I'm going to take a flyer on the 8, play him to win.
Very good, sir. Race number 3, we have a 6 furlong allowance sprint, $61,000 purse, and this is our Arkansas bred race on the card. Coach, you have the first word.
Well, it's interesting. It's very interesting here. I looked at 2 horses that I thought had a chance to take this bunch a long way, and they both have sentimental value. Tell you the horse I looked at first, and I've overlooked this horse the first time. No, take that back. I played him the first time, didn't play him the second time, then came back, played him third. And my dog, Derby Win Roundtree, is right here on the big sectional in between my wife and I as we taped the program this morning. Call Me Derby for Randy Morris. All he's done this meet is go 3 for 3. Don't think you can ignore that value. He's sitting in there at 8-1 morning line. I'm definitely going to use Call Me Derby. And the other one I'm going to use, where it all started for us, Mark, in our horse venture, when we went to the Oaklawn kickoff program there at the Riverfront Wyndham, Frank Fletcher's place, and we're able to sit with the truly inimitable Dash Golf. He sends Captain Don out of the 2-hole. I think Captain Don and Call Me Derby are the speed of the race. So I'm going to go 210 box, a dollar try, 210, 210 all, and either play the 2 or the 10 depending on odds for my win bet.
Excellent choice. We love Captain Don. We love Dash Golf. The horse played well last time out, showing some improvement. I think that you have to have Captain Don in your bet, so I'm going to include him as well. I did take note of Call Me Derby, but Coach, winning 3 times in a row at a maiden $20,000 and a $16,000 claim race, I don't know, might be too cheap for this company, and I wish you luck on that, but I am going to take a pass and instead I am going to go with Captain Don, number 2. I'm also going to include number 4, Tempt Fate. I think what we have there is a horse that is coming into form, is moving up steadily, and I think that if Carl DeVille thought that this horse was not coming into form, was not getting to where it needed to be, it would not be in this race. Carl's a very successful trainer in Arkansas-bred races. I've crunched the numbers on this. He is one of the tops in this type of race. So I'm going to go 2-4, Captain Don, and Tempt Fate. I'm going to do an exacta box. That's where I'm going to leave it, Coach. So let's run along. And, you know, if we get Sir Brahms in there, that could really change things, you know. I was
going to say, off the also eligible, I definitely would think that Sir Brahms would change. I also would tell you this, if Macho Rocco gets in there, then my angle of Captain Don and Call Me Derby being out by themselves would go away, because that horse is front end speed as well.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. So you got to watch that, folks. Watch for the also eligibles. Just because they're on there doesn't mean they're not going to run in that 13-14 spot. Let's go on to race number 4. Yet another 6-furlong sprint, maiden special weight. What we've got here, $60,000 purse. And I believe I've got the first word on this one. Another tough one, because we don't have a lot to go on other than horse prices, trainer angles, and a very, very, very threadbare past performance for a few of these horses. So I believe the way I'm going to play this one, I'm going to play really, I think number 8, Jay-Z, My Man, is going to be my key horse in this race. We got Joe Sharp training, previously trained by Bob Baffert. I think Joe is going to take this horse where it needs to go. That's going to be my key horse, and I'm going to play with number 8. I'm going to put him on top, and I'm going to put underneath 6, My Northern Star. Also going to put in number 11, Bank. So I'm going to do 8 on top, 6, 11 on bottom. What say you, Coach?
I like the 7 horse. I like Major Attraction for Wayne Catalano. Horses only had 2 outs behind some really good horses. Edgemont Road, that beat him last time, is I think a quality horse. This one looks to me to be, for my taste, a little bit on the chalky side. But the 2 horses that I like the best are the 7 and the 11. So I'm going to go with the 7 and 11 in my play. Since it'll be the last race of the pick 4, if I was wanting to just maybe take a shot that something big would hit, the other horse that I would put in there, and strictly as a long shot flyer, the other horse that I would put in there would probably be number 5 for Dwayne Lucas, Quality Warrior. Not so much for what he's done, but just that I got a feeling Dwayne Lucas is going to win a race somewhere today, and this might be the spot.
And I wish him luck. And I will say, great minds think alike. Number 11, folks. Number 11, Bank. So let's go on now to our first round race of the card. Race number 5, mile and a 16th. Allowance optional claiming $62,000 purse. We have all kinds of conditions on the race for weight, state bred, not winning here, not winning there, and so forth. These are always interesting because you wonder why, as the trainer, think this is a good race to enter the horse. What angle? What is their angle? And I believe on this one, you will have the first word, Coach. What say you?
Well, it's a very competitive route race. Like you said, the first route race on the card. We got a lot of them today. And as I kept looking for where I was going to land with my win bet. Pace makes the race. And excuse me. Track played very fast yesterday, but I think there's a lot of speed here. And I'm going to go with an old veteran horse that won the Essex here before. I like the 3, Rated R Superstar for Cipriano Contreras and Martin Garcia. So he'll be my win play. For an exacta, I'm going to take the 3 over maybe some price horses. One of which I'll use will be Lombo, the 5. I'm also going to use the 8, 235, and the 12. So 12 will be the favorite, but going to play Rated R Superstar to close and get them.
Yes, sir. This is quite a field. It is loaded with former stakes running horses. Number 2, Long Range Toddy, ran in the Kentucky Derby last year, got absolutely hosed, and actually has not shown a lot of life in graded stakes races. So there is a big drop in class for number 2, Long Range Toddy, but not the only class dropper. Your pick, Coach, Rated R Superstar, has made a drop in class over the last year. We also have the, we have the number 8, 235, former stakes runner, dropping in class. In fact, just 2 races ago, March 7th, ran in a Grade 1 stakes race. I tell you, Coach, with all of this possible speed in the race, this is going to be a tough one to pick a winner. And I believe what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go ahead and play number 2 and 3, Long Range Toddy and Rated R Superstar. I'm going to play them on top. I'm going to then play 2, 3, and number 6, Mixed Star in the second position. And in the third position, I'm going to go ahead and play 2, 3, 6, and 9. And I'm going to do that as a trifecta part wheel and hope for the best, because this is a tough one, because we have got an absolute ton of high quality horses. I mean, this looks like a day at a big time track today. It looks like a Saratoga day here at Oaklawn. Although we're no slouch here. All right, let's go on to race number 6. We're bumping it up to 1 mile and an eighth, maiden special weight for $60,000. My goodness, and I'll take the first word on this one. This is a tough distance to handicap at Oaklawn. We don't have a lot of these races. We don't have a lot of data on it. So I've looked carefully at the buyer figures, and I have looked at some of the trainer angles, and I'm going to go with number 3, Brad Cox and Wild Union. And I'm going to keep this one simple. I'm just going to do a win place bet on number 3, Wild Union, and leave it at that. What say you, Coach?
You made a very astute observation. We don't have the 1 mile and an eighth distance very often here at Oaklawn Park. None of these horses, by the way, have run 1 mile and an eighth. Got some stretch out, which you would anticipate would be speed. You've got some that have tried it. Wild Union, I'll give you credit. He's been out 9 times. He's had 5 seconds, 2/3. He definitely factors, but I know our podcast listeners enjoy this little feature. I'm going to give you the horse, Mark, that no other handicapper on the planet will bring to you, who I think has a shot today, and he will be at long odds. The play for me, the long shot special in race number 6, our old friend number 8, Beaver Hat for Brian Williamson. Mojica gets the mount again, and I was given information early in the meet, pre-COVID, from a guy that pretty good handicapper, gets some inside scoop, and he'd gotten some inside tout information on this horse. This horse running shorter had a couple of really bad trips. I blame the jockey more than I do the horse. Maybe the 1 1/8 is what this horse needs. They thought he was well meant. I'm going to give a shot here to Brian Williamson to get a payday going out of town with number 8, Beaver Hat.
Well, I hope you get the payday going out of town and you're not ran out of town on a rail wearing your beaver hat, Coach. All right, let's roll on to race number 7, a 1.16 route. Allowance optional, claiming $61,000 for fillies. Well, Coach, this one you're going to have the first word on, and I don't know what you're going to say other than Bob Baffert, but go on.
Boy, I love to try to beat Bob Baffert. This horse looks tough, though. But he's only run once. You know, I mean, he won easily at 6.5 furlongs. He's not been the distance. So can you beat Bob Baffert? I don't know, but we're going to try to. Take a look at the field here. And, again, the typical situation for today, it's a very full field. It's as full as you can get. And that's what we're dealing with. So you got a lot of possibilities here. The Peter Urton horse interested me. The 4 horse, Orquidius Biz. I thought he had kind of an interesting look in the fact that he's obviously been against steeper horses. Hollendorfer's horse has been in a grade 3. O'Neill's horse has been in a grade 3. You got the Baffert horse that you mentioned. The horse that I came back to, which is pretty chalky, that I think maybe is the winner today, will be the number 10, Speech, for Mike McCarthy. Put the 10 on the top. Then I'm going to try some shots underneath for the exacta. I'm going to use the 4, use the 5, use the 7 for Asmussen. I'll put the 8 in the exacta play and then flip it over the top. But I'm going to bet the 10.
Betting the 10, Speech, dropping out of grade 3, back to the $60,000 claiming race. I think that that's a fantastic pick, Coach. And I do hope that we knock Bob Baffert off the saddle. When you look at that, there's really just 2 horses that I can see in this race. And that's number 8, Gamine, and number 10, Speech. Everybody else is, while they're not bad horses, they are certainly, they are well within their class, what I'm trying to say. And these other 2, they are well above this class. So I don't really know what to do. I don't think there's a lot of money to be made on this race. So I would say perhaps you could, I think you're going to get a better price on number 10, Speech. So perhaps what you want to do is put number 10, Speech, on top and then wheel in the second position in exacta, number 8, Gamine. At that point, you're not looking at a very big payday, but then if you get lucky, perhaps one of the following horses could be wheeled in on the second position. Number 4, Orquidius Biz. I also like number 3, Black Cat Taps. And also like number 12, Booty Tama. I don't know how the horse got that name, but I like the name, Booty Tama. A Booty Tama.
If only Slime Queen were in the race.
Oh, goodness. All right, race number 8. 1/16 route, $61,000 purse. Open field to both the ladies and the boys, and we've got a few conditions placed on here. Well, we have yet another tough one on our hands, and I didn't have a lot jump out at me. I thought, very strangely, we've got a horse that came all the way from Argentina, ran one grade 3 race, at Tampa Bay Downs, and now here it is. I thought that was interesting, but I don't think I'm going to play it. I think instead I like what appears to be one of the favorites in the race, number 6, Caribbean from Australia. I'm going to play that horse together with number 5, Fra Moro on top, and then on bottom in my exacta, the same 2 horses, plus I will add in there the number 2, Wild Poppet, and I'm also going to add in the number, let me get it here. I've sifted away my form, out of form. Come here. I tell you, Coach, my hands are dry. These pages are sticking together. Okay. Number 2, Wild Poppet. And I'm going to go ahead and put in number 1, Bientendi. So I'm going to put number 5, 6 on top and 5, 6 on bottom wheel in number 1 and number 2. What say you, Coach?
Well, I'm going to take a shot here with a horse that just broke his maiden, and he did it in an impressive fashion. We hit the pick 4 that day. It was a nice score. It would have been a really nice score had they not taken my Dallas Stewart horse down earlier. But anyway, I'm coming right back with a horse that was a 4-year-old first-time starter. We gave you that on the podcast. He wins and pays $52. He's first out. He's come back with a good workout since. I think he goes under the betting radar here because it is his first opportunity against winners, and he is stepping up, obviously, to an allowance field. But, Mark, on a Saturday Derby day with the family tuned in, I'm going with number 7, Don Vito Corleone, as my top selection. I'm going to play him to win in place. I'll take the 7 on top of the 4, 5, 6, 10, the 4, 5, 6, 10 on top of the 7 in an exacta, and maybe even play a try. Do think Pletcher's 10 is dangerous Moretti, but I'm going with the Godfather, Don Vito Corleone.
Showing much respect to the Don. Kiss the ring, Coach.
Yes, sir.
He did come out of nowhere. And Coach gave him to you on the podcast. It was Coach's horse way back on April 4th. Did very well. I certainly took note, but I kind of feel like he's got to work. He's got to earn his way up here. This is a little bit tougher field, although I can see it happening. You know, as I said, tough race, but I'm going to stand by my picks. But I wish you well. I hope that you do not get whacked by the Don. All righty. Race number 9 of our 14-card race. Another route, a mile and a 16th, and this is an optional allowance, optional claiming, $62,000 purse. And, Coach, you got the first word on this race. And so what, sir, is that word?
Tough race. I think a lot of good horses here, some veteran horses. This was to me a very difficult race to land on a winner. But since I had to pick, I'm going to go with the 7 rotation for Asmussen and Santana. I'm going to take the 7 rotation as my win place bet. I'm going to put him over the top of the 1 Popular Kid, owned by my good friend Charles Jennings, in the back porch here in Hot Springs. Also going to use Sunny Smack, the dead closer, for Don Von Himmel. Use Proverb, the 6 horse, and then for maybe a little bit of a price, the 10 horse Mo Gotcha for Jeremiah Englehart, but my win play will be on rotation.
And, Coach, I do hope that rotation doesn't take you for a spin. I do like the angle here. You got our grade 3, running in a grade 3, just 2 races to go in September, dropping down in class here to a allowance optional claiming race, certainly standing head above shoulders to the other entrants in this race in terms of earnings, except for perhaps number 1, Popular Kid. I, Coach, am going to go for the long bomb here. So this is definitely a horse that is began its career in classier company and has found its way down to the bottom. But I think the horse is in form, and I think we're going to get a fantastic price, and you have to take a shot every now and then. I'm going to place my long shot win place bet on number 12, Dunf.
I like that horse.
Yes, sir. So it had been running in $40,000 and $30,000 claiming races. Robertino Diodoro is bringing it back up. Could be just here to fill a spot in the gate. I can't discount that possibility because that does happen. But perhaps it is ready to run against classier company. That's what I'm hoping for, and I've got faith in Robertino Diodoro, and I'm going to do a win place long shot on Dunf. Race number 10, a mile and a 16th route optional allowance claiming for a $61,000 purse with a number of very glib conditions written into the race. Let's see what we have here. I have the first word, and I think that the word here is Ginobili. That's who I'm going with, Ginobili, number 2. I'm going to put Ginobili on top. I'm going to put on bottom in my exacta number 4, Villainous, number 7, Candy Tycoon with Todd Fletcher training. I believe also worth a mention for a price is the number 9 horse Special Day. So that's how I'm going to play it. I'm going to do an exacta with number 2, Ginobili, on top, number 7, Candy Tycoon, number 9, Special Day on bottom. What say you, Coach?
Todd Fletcher will probably win a race or two today. He's too good a trainer, and he's been too successful coming over here down through the years not to win one. I think this may be the spot. You know, it's not my kind of play, but I look at Candy Tycoon here as a tough play. I think the 7, to me, is the logical winner here. At those odds, I can't get a lot of value there unless we're able to get a shot underneath. So I'm going to try to do that. I'm going to take the 7, Candy Tycoon, and then look at some of these I'm going to use here. I'm going to use the 5, Spanish Kingdom. He's 8-1 morning line. In honor of the Masters, which is not happening or did not happen in April, I'm going to use the 6, Amen Corner at 50-1. He'll be in my play. I'm going to use the 8, Cacciarelli, who's won 2 in a row, but he's still 20-1. And then I'm also going to throw in the horse that I would call my long shot of the race, and I really wanted to give you this as my win horse, but I think a horse that will play here will be the 12, Background. So take the 7 on top of the 5, 6, 8, 12, and hope that we hit a big exacta. I think Candy Tycoon's a winner, though.
How sweet it is, Candy Tycoon. And we shall see if this is his race. Pretty hard to deny. Now, Coach, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. Race number 11, Division 1 of the Arkansas Derby. I don't know if there's any significance to the fact that there's a 1 and 2. I believe back in the day, I remember playing intramural athletics, and there was an A league and a B league for everything that I believe, no, football, flag football we did not, but I know with basketball there was an A league and a B league. And if you were slow Perhaps they had a little bit too much around the waist. Perhaps not very coordinated. You were in the B League. So I don't know if we subscribe that to the way they have broken the Arkansas Derby apart. I don't think we should read anything into it. I believe all we're doing here is trying to help Bob Baffert qualify all of his horses for the Kentucky Derby. Coach, race 11, Arkansas Derby Division I, you have the first word. What is the word?
Well, as a personal note here on handicapping and more importantly on betting, these big races to me are tough. I'm hoping, Mark, that today I've made my bones before we get to the Arkansas Derby card, the Arkansas Derby part of the card. But, I mean, you will probably have alternative insight, but I got to be honest, it's hard for me to get past Charlatan. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to win, but I don't think I could bet against him. I think he legitimately stands atop the field. So you got to use the 1. If I was looking for some value, probably use the 4, Governor Morris, and then maybe the 8, No Dior. I might throw in the 11 for Asmussen Basin, but I think it's the 1's race to win or lose.
Coach, I couldn't agree more. Is Charlatan a fraud? I don't think so. Though his name suggests so, I don't think so. Only run 2 races in his life. Like most Baffert horses, he is a halter horse, really, that is capable of blazing speeds. So what do? I don't know what you do. Now, he's going from a $53,000 maiden special weight to an $80,000 allowance race, and now he's in the Grade 1 Arkansas Derby. So what do you say? I don't know. I would point out this, is that Baffert he's got a great record as a graded stakes trainer, 20%. But there's 4 out of 5 times Bob Baffert doesn't win his graded stake races. And you have to keep that in mind. And while this horse is phenomenal from what we can tell on paper and what we can tell from the works, don't forget all kinds of things happen. If I recall correctly, our last big graded stakes in the slop, his horse slipped out of the gate and did not finish well. So I'm going to go ahead, since I think all the money is a big black hole to Charlatan, and we will see less than even money on this horse. I will go ahead and I think because you're going to get such great odds, it's worth just making a small bet on a few horses that have a chance to pull the upset at a tremendous price. I like number 5, Jungle Runner. Hasn't shown much life lately. I'm going to play the trainer angle here. Asmussen is 17% in graded stakes. Number 7, Wrecking Crew with Peter Miller. He plays 15% in graded stakes races. And then number 11, Basin. I'm going to play the Asmussen horse again. Now, if any of these horses are at a price, I would say, that is more than 5 to 1, or less than 5 to 1, rather, I don't think I'm going to place my upset bet on it. I just know I'm not going to bet on Charlatan, and I'm not going to bet a lot of money. I'm just going to see what I can do to bring in a upset victory. All right. We're going to the Oaklawn Handicap race number 12. It does appear that I have the first word on race number 12. And what is the word? I'll tell you, this field, I think, is a tougher field to handicap than any we have seen in some time. These are horses that routinely run in the 90s, the upper 90s, buyer figures. We have horses here that are being trained by trainers that are excellent in graded stakes. Give you a few examples here. Look at number 2, Trophy Chaser, running 102, 103 buyer last couple outs, being trained by Juan Abila. 29% winner in graded stakes races. Number 5, Identifier, Oscar Gonzalez, winning only 3 starts, but 33%, won 1 out of 3 in graded stakes. John Sadler has run 81 graded stakes races. Today he brings Combatant, number 7. He comes in routinely at 20%, and if you look at the price, good price there, $2.40 on average. Number 12, By My Standards, trained by Brett Calhoun. 26 outs, 35% winning graded stakes, $4.18 return. What an amazing figure there. Number 13, Night Ops, trained by Brad Cox. Certainly never a slouch, 99 graded stakes races. He's won 25. So I could go on and on, Coach. So this is a very tough one to handicap. I think you got to watch the board and figure out who's going to give you the best price and go there. I think for my money, just without knowing what the true odds of the race are, since what we find in the form is nothing more than their wild-ass guess about what is going to go on the board, I think I'm going to go ahead and take number 7 with John Sadler, Combatant. That's going to be my horse in this race. I'm going to do a win place. I don't think I'm going to bother with worrying about doing an exotic on this because there's too many good horses, way too many good horses. And I would note that we do have one horse in this race that is taking a a precipitous drop in class as far as purse price goes. Number 9, Tacitus, was in the Saudi Cup with a purse, and that's a lot of doggone zeros, Coach. And I got my readers on, and I can barely get there. But is that $20 million, I believe? So
I believe
going
you're
right. From a $20 million race to a mere pocket change race of $600,000. What say you, Coach?
Well, I think Tacitus that you mentioned definitely plays here. I think by my standards, the 12 horse for Brett Calhoun, he's been a win machine as of late. I think he plays. I also thought you were correct. You take a look at this field, very, very hard to handicap the race because it's hard to eliminate horses. And that's where we start and as we try to pick a winner, try to eliminate the ones that can't win. But I'm going to go with an out-of-towner. I'm going to go with the 2-horse Trophy Chaser for Juan Avila. I'm going to take Trophy Chaser, the 2, and give me some long balls underneath and over the top for this exacta. Take the 2 over the 1, Chest Chief for Dallas Stewart. I'm going to use the 4, Mr. Freeze for Dale Romans. I'll use 7, Combatant, and I'll use the 9, Tacitus, and the 12. So take the 2 over the 1, 4, 7, 9, 12, and the 1, 4, 7, 9, 12 over the 2, and take a shot.
And I wish you luck, sir. And I got to say, folks, when you hear Coach mention that many horses in a race and his bet, that is a tough race to handicap.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Not a man that spreads around his bets within a race. I'll say that. But here he is. He's having to because it's that tough. I think that's going to be one of my favorite races on the card. I mean, you're going to be watching the Division I of the Derby to see if Charlatan stumbles and can't make it. But the Oaklawn Handicap, I think you're watching that one just surely to see some athlete horses compete because that is a heck of a race. All right, Division II of the Arkansas Derby. Read nothing into the fact that it is Division II, folks. 1 1/8 miles, $500,000. Coach, you got the word on both Arkansas Derbies today, and like some of these jockeys who've gotten to ride the Arkansas Derby in one day, you get the handicap 2 in one day. And what say you, Coach?
Well, this is kind of a conundrum, if you will, because you've just got so many angles to go. But I'm going to I think I'm going to stick with the local here, and I'm going to go to the outside, number 11, Wells Bayou. Take Wells Bayou on the top, and I'm going to take the 11 over the 5, 7, 10, 11 over the 5, 7, 10, 5, 7, 10 over the 11. Playing some closures underneath Wells Bayou, but I'm gonna play the 11.
Not bad. You know, I think that's a good bet. I like Wells Bayou too. Brad Cox has a lot of success in graded stakes races, and here we have the return of Nadal in this race, Coach. Nadal was the stumbler in the Grade 2 Rebel. Was that right?
That's right.
No, he wasn't. Was he the stumbler? No, he was not, was he?
No, he was a winner.
He was the winner. Well, we had a stumbler of his. I can't remember who it was. Maybe it'll come to me in a minute. But, you know, Nadal is coming out off the win in the Grade 2 Rebel. He is in the 5-post, which if you are a fan of track bias and looking at post positions, the post positions in a route race at Oaklawn, the favored ones are 1, 2, 3, 5, and 11, all returning in double digits, above 10%. So we got Nadal in a favored post here. I think you're going to have a heck of a time with Nadal. Now, Charlatan, I think, might not be what everyone thinks he is. I think there's more of a chance of that than Nadal losing this race. And who knows? You might even get, I mean, here the odds makers are saying 5-2 off the gate. Maybe you'll do a little bit better. So I'm going to stick with the chalk here, Nadal. I think we're going to see, I'm going to put him on top. I think we're going to see Silver Prospector come back into form. He had a heck of a time in the Rebel. It was run on the slop, and Silver Prospector, he has won in the slop before, but I've noticed in all of his Oaklawn Park outs, he didn't like it. And, you know, it could very well be, you know, our track's a very sandy track. You don't get out in front with early speed, you're going to get it in your face. So I think that perhaps Silver Prospector with a fast track today comes back into form at a good price. So I'm going to go Nadal on top. I'm going to put Silver Prospector into second position along with your pick, number 11, Wells Bayou in the second position. Be a cheap bet. Hopefully we get a little bit of odds, better price on Nadal than we would on Charlatan, and maybe we'll make a little bit of money on that one. But I don't see anybody here, I think, that's going to upset the apple cart. So, Coach, we have come to the end here. Race number 14. Golly, this is almost the European distance, 1.75 miles. Maybe they're going to pull some hurdles out on the field, and we'll have a mini Grand National today. 1.75 miles. That's a lot of turns for the Oaklawn track. I believe that's going to be 4, 5, 6. Is that 7 turns, I believe. Heck of a lot of running to do. And these are some of our old familiars here. Our old buddy Dangerfield is in this race in the number 1 position. Our old buddy Carlos Sixes, another frequenter of Oaklawn, is in the 5 position. Beyond that, trying to think who else we have seen on a Saturday here. I think Take Charge Diora we have seen on a Saturday before. But I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to stick with our old buddies. Number 1, Dangerfield, and number 5, Carlos Sixes. And I'm just going to do an exacta box and end my Oaklawn meet with an exacta box. Keep it simple. And leave it at that, Coach. What say you?
Oh, this is always a fun race because I get excited. You know, usually we got 80,000 people there. It goes so long that a lot of times the first time by, people start cheering their horses ahead, but mile and three-quarter, it's a definite marathon distance. I looked at several of them. I've looked at the entire field here, but some things that just kind of, I don't know, reached out to me a little bit with some price plays. Now, I do think Carlos Sixes is in great form right now. I think you got to keep him in your mix. I looked at the 6, Whole Lot of Luck. David Thomas Vance hadn't won a race all year. At the distance, this horse happens to have the best Tomlinson number, so I probably would throw him in my exotics. And then you got 2 horses in this field that have won at this marathon distance. That's the 10, Wild About You, and the 11, the Rouge Diesel. So, 50-cent try box here. 5, 6, 9, 10, 11. That's a $30 bet. We'll try to hit a big try going out. And as far as betting one to win, I'm sorry about that. I'm going to take the number 10, Wild About You, for Randy Matthews.
Coach, hoping to go out with a bang while I just try to whimper away. Always in grand form, sir. All righty. Well, Coach, I have to thank you very much for agreeing to do this podcast with me. I think it has been a worthwhile endeavor, albeit a lot of work, but doggone it, worth it. I've made every effort to get this thing produced and out, and I thank everybody who has listened to our podcast, as we will be back next year, I'm sure. If not, if we do get the itch in the interim and we start seeing a hot track and we get the itch, we might be back with another meet at another track. Hadn't really talked about it with the coach. Thank everybody. Coach, I'll give you the last word for this Meets Wire to Wire podcast. What say you?
Well, Mark, it's been a lot of fun, and they've great. We formulated the idea there at the old pipe and tobacco store, and they're soon to be reopening the Table of Knowledge, and we'll look forward to meeting there. But see Greg and Nathan and Mike and all the guys. But really enjoyed it, and you never know where we will tune in or turn up next on our handicapping trek. And I guess as we close out the meet and our final podcast, as they end that mile and three-quarter marathon, we say to all of our listeners and to you, Mark, happy trails until we meet again.
Happy trails. Coach, thank you so much. And by the way, Mark, happy belated birthday. Coach had a big birthday. No milestones, but holding pretty steady in the peak form years. Really, just your
54.
If you were
54,
a horse,
where did it go?
Well, if you were a horse in your racing career, this would be your I think your year 4 campaign.
There you go.
There's still a lot of curses to be won by the coach.
That's it.
Take care of the coach. Thank you so much.
See you, Mark. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.